Two will enter, one will win. Welcome to the fight. Welcome to the knockout.
Welcome everyone to episode 5 of the Knockout. I'm really looking forward to this one. Of course, I say that every week, but they just keep on getting better and better. This week, episode 5, we're doing Wolverine versus Black Panther. So it's the battle of wills, it's the war of the metal. So rock on, let's have a good time. I'm joined by the comic collector. So welcome, man. He will be arguing for Black Panther, and I will be arguing for Wolverine. So how's it been going? How you been doing?
It's been doing pretty well, man. I've been, in the middle of moving right now, but you messaged me about being on the show, and you made me choose between my babies. But when it comes down to it, I've got to say, man, I think Black Panther's got it.
Well, we'll see if you can convince enough people, because I think Wolverine is the fan favorite. So I'm hoping that that'll be enough to make up for any lack of argument I might have. So,
I agree with you there.
Can't vote against favorites. So I will let you have the opening statement here, and then we're going to get down and dirty here. So the floor is yours, my good sir.
Well, thank you. First to what you said, I will definitely agree with you in that Wolverine for sure is the fan favorite. And, when I was looking into this initially, it was my concept that Wolverine has to win because I love Wolverine too. But looking into it, I've got to say, I think Black Panther, just to start things off, is much more skilled in terms of hand-to-hand combat. Sure, Wolverine, he's had centuries to hone his skills on the battlefield throughout the wars in humanity's history. But Black Panther, he's very similar to basically Marvel's Batman in that he is believed to be one of the, if not the most skilled martial artists to have ever walked the face of the planet, having gone toe-to-toe with the likes of Captain America, Daredevil, Shang-Chi, and actually walking out the victor. And as a matter of fact, he's even fought a Super Skrull who had the combined forces of not only Shang-Chi, Captain America, and Daredevil, but also Black Panther. And when he was facing him, he in the Skrull said that he's been facing his entire life to face Black Panther. To that, Black Panther just said, well, then you've already lost because I've been training my whole life to face the unknown. So very similar to Batman in that he is familiar with every single martial arts on the face of this planet, as well as a few that, of course, were made up for Marvel. In addition to that, he also has his super strength to help him when it comes to these martial arts. So while Wolverine is fighting sure, with adamantium skeleton and claws, he's just a man. He has human strength and no martial arts fighting ability, just that of a mortal man. So I've got to say, just in this opening part, that hand-to-hand combat-wise, I think Black Panther's got it because, he's basically Batman. Let's be real. And I'll go ahead and give you the floor for that.
All right. Thank you very much. So, I would disagree with the very fact that Wolverine doesn't have hand-to-hand fighting combat. So, because I'll go ahead and make that my first argument. Because what do you think? What do you guys think that Wolverine does in the X-Men's Danger Room? Nice, lovely stroll on the beach. Pretty sunsets and a drink. No, he's in there fighting like hell. He's been extensively trained. Yes, he might not have some of the experience that Black Panther has, but Wolverine has been alive for a century and a half, 2 centuries. You pick up a few things, Second of all, Wolverine might not be as strong as T'Challa and Black Panther, but Wolverine has both his adamantium exoskeleton, so it's kind of like, so how easy is it to punch something with a metal core, and 2, he has this little thing called a healing factor. How many times has he been injured to an extent that would have easily killed anyone else, but Wolverine's just like walking it off. I'm good. I'm good. No big deal. I'm only missing half a head. It'll grow back. So, but this ultimately comes down to adamantium versus vibranium. That is the very core of this argument. Which metal is ultimately going to win out? And that is the clear winner of adamantium. Vibranium has been broken in the past. Captain America's shield, Black Panther's claws, and they are made of some sort of, I believe, anti-vibranium stuff. They can scratch vibranium. That even vibranium can be damaged. And two, Wolverine's adamantium is the unbreakable. It's the unbreakable metal. It's been dented and bent, but it has not been broken like vibranium has. So blow for blow, adamantium wins out. Wolverine wins. Simple. Argument over. So, what do you have to say about that?
Well, I definitely agree with you in that adamantium is definitely the stronger metal. The only thing that can cut it is other adamantium. I wouldn't agree with you there. But I disagree in that it's a fact of adamantium versus vibranium. And that, as I mentioned, Black Panther is skilled in every single martial arts on the face of this planet. Like I said, he's basically OP Batman. And that, sure, Wolverine, his skeleton is covered in adamantium. But given that he is skilled in martial arts and he knows things like nerve clusters and things to basically incapacitate you that don't target strictly the bones. Like, for example, joints. Joints are strictly where the bones meet. And that's a soft spot there for Wolverine. And Black Panther, he's even openly admitted that he doesn't go into battle with anyone without having some knowledge about that character. Again, basically like Batman, he has a plan to defeat any superhero he comes up against. So when he's going up against Wolverine, he knows about his skeleton. He knows about the vibranium not being able to cut through the adamantium. But if he can target those joints, those nerve clusters, because sure, taking out his arm with a shot to the nerve clusters, taking out his arm, it won't kill him, but it leaves him open to further attack. And don't try to overstate his healing factor. Sure, his healing factor is a healing factor, but it's one of the worst in the Marvel universe. Not just cinematic universe, but in the comics universe, Juggernaut's is better. Deadpool's is way better. And I'm not even going to get into talking about the Celestials. Sure, Wolverine has a healing factor, but it's a slow healing factor, which is even slower due to the adamantium poison, which, of course, we're familiar with from Old Man Logan. It's causing his death because that healing factor is constantly being distracted by the poison from the metal itself. So I don't think we should really overstate the fact of his adamantium skeleton or his healing factor, because ultimately when he's fighting against someone who knows what he's doing, they can easily fight around those factors and still be able to incapacitate him.
Well, his healing can take care of the joints. Like I said, his bones can reconnect. And you want to bring up his death as because I'm pretty as we are now that Krakoa and the new Dawn of X or whatever is right now canon and all that. So adamantium poisoning kind of doesn't matter when you can be brought back to life. How is because you can he can be a druggie shooting himself up with adamantium every single day and die that night, and the next morning he's risen again, ready to go for round whatever you're on. So adamantium poison doesn't make an effect here. So like I said, it's all a matter of that. And part of your introduction, whatever you're talking about, he's an ordinary man, but he has feline, I think is what I'm kind of working for, like these animalistic tendencies and abilities and all that. So he can smell, he can hear, and all that. So he has heightened senses. So he's not a complete and all that. So he's like Black Panther in that he has a heightened ability. So he can dance and all that. And like I said, healing factor or not, slow or not, he can rebound and take a punch until he figures a way around the armor. And so like I said, and plus like I said, he has, what's it called? They mentioned was it Brutal Killer? There's a name to it. But when he when he goes ballistic or whatever, when he's pure
Yeah.
animal fighting, because then that's
the berserker rage.
berserker. There you go, berserker rage. There you go. That it doesn't matter how skilled you are in a sense that when you are when an animal's a corner animal, when an animal's cornered, it fights brutally and hard, and it can kind of overcome trained skill. Because even Batman and all that, you have to kind of, unless you're going to lose control too and fight to the next into the next level, you can only respond so quickly because you're rationally and thinking about it. So Wolverine has a tendency to fight back quite brutally and come out ahead. So
all right. So to that, I do have two things. One, you were talking about the berserker rage. I do agree that makes someone very unpredictable in a sense, but I also think it makes someone I don't want to say lazy, but it opens themselves up for attack. Because when Wolverine goes into that blind rage, he's all about trying to attack you, trying to get on you, especially when your weapons are personal weapons like claws. Once you get into that berserker rage, you're not thinking things through in terms of, man, is this a good idea? Should I be doing this? You're not thinking clearly. You're not thinking rationally. Mm-hmm. So when you have someone like Black Panther, who is thinking rationally, who is thinking things through like that, and is skilled and has been training since birth to become a warrior, like you said yourself, a cornered animal. And let's not forget, a Black Panther is an animal. And like you said, he has heightened senses as well. So as soon as Logan lets go, I think that's going to be Black Panther's opening. Mm-hmm. And for the second, going into it, like we were talking about the heightened senses, Black Panther, of course, I mean, he's not poor. He's a very rich individual. Mm-hmm. And he knows his enemies. So when he knows going into fighting Logan that his senses are heightened, well, just like Batman has something on his utility belt, Black Panther would be going into it knowing that that's something he can take advantage of. He can use capsaicin sprays. He can use sonic devices that would impede or completely just distract Wolverine during the fight. That would almost take him out of commission, or at least distract him long enough so that Black Panther can get his jabs and his blows in. And I feel like, we were talking about Vibranium and Adamantium. When he's open like that, of course, one thing that Black Panther will be able to get him with are his claws. And sure, Vibranium won't be able to do a whole lot really compared to someone who has a healing factor in Vibranium and Adamantium. But there's a little metal called carbonadium. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It is basically what Omega Red's tendrils are made out of. And that's something that gives Wolverine a run for his money every single time he fights Omega Red, and leads to Omega Red basically not being scared at all of Wolverine. Because carbonadium, when he might cut you with it, it will negate the healing factor. And it's easily reproduced in laboratories. And let's be real, if there's one laboratory on the face of this planet who has access to carbonadium, it's going to be Wakanda. So sure, Vibranium might not be able to do much, but if he coats those Vibranium nails in carbonadium, that takes care of one of the big factors, his healing factor, and makes it almost a non-aggressor there.
But then again, like I said, with Krakoa and the rebirth of mutants and all that, it's, even if he does that once, he can come back. And Wolverine's not an idiot. You don't, like I said, you don't survive 100+ years by being an idiot. He's according to the research I did and all that, Wolverine has a very smart, kind of like Batman, world-class mental capacity to focus and all that. He's not just going to march into Wakanda, poke out his middle claw and say, "You, me, let's go." Let's go, bub. He's going to know what to do, or not really know what to do, but he's going to have a plan and all that. Maybe if he did enough research, or maybe if T'Challa had fought enough people like Wolverine, a weakness might come into the light. I didn't know this until I did a little more research into Vibranium. One of the weaknesses for it is electricity or electrocution. It might absorb energy, magnetic energy, but it makes perfect sense. If we look at what is it? Civil War, when little Black Widow was shooting him with that venom bite or whatever, and he was temporarily being slowed down. So all you need to do is hold him or slow him down enough that you can take advantage. It doesn't matter how strong you are, how much martial arts training you've got. If you're a little bit of frozen, kind of that, you can't really fight and defend yourself. Is that from your end or my end?
Let me try muting my mic.
Okay, I don't hear it now. So, anyway, as we can see, he muted himself because he clearly gives up the argument, and I had the better fight.
All right, fine. We'll listen to static. All right. So, that's a good point, and that Wolverine, if somehow he were to have access to an electrical gadget, that he was able to paralyze Black Panther with that.
Storm. No.
Now,
Yep.
Hold on a minute. We're not talking Black Panther versus the X-Men.
Oh.
We're talking Black Panther versus Wolverine.
Well, you're bringing.
If you want, I could have Black Panther get an assist from Thor.
You're bringing up Wakanda, King of Wakanda, and all that. His resources. So therefore, you're not just going to march into that country and poke at the president and all that. You're going to have a little bit of backup. So.
Well, you can't have a fight with Batman without talking about his gadgets either. So yeah. I don't think it's out of the question because let's be real. You can't talk about Wolverine without his exoskeleton.
Mm-hmm.
You can't talk about Black Panther without what he has at his availability. And it just so happens that Black Panther is not only a king, but he's the king of the most high-tech civilization on the planet.
But again, you're talking about indestructible metal versus one that's been known to break in the past. The only thing that's Captain America's shield's been busted. Vibranium itself has been scratched by Black Panther's claws. It might not be, it's no slouch, but it's still, like I said, you admit it yourself, it holds no candle to Adamantium. The only thing Adamantium can take down is itself. Or no, the only thing you know what I mean. The only thing that can take down Adamantium is Adamantium, whatever. So unless T'Challa decides to buy up all the resources of Adamantium and start putting his claws in that, I don't see how he's gonna, beat Wolverine in that. And then, like I said too, he manages to do that. Wolverine just comes back. It's like fighting someone who's immortal. You can't win.
Well, to that, I will say that, if Wolverine loses once and he comes back and he comes back for more, what's to say he doesn't just lose again? But I do have one thing that you may not be aware of. And it is going to, again, be taking advantage of T'Challa's resources as king and what he is able to get hands on. But there is a specific sword that is able to not only cut through Wolverine, but make it so that when something's cut off, he can't grow it back. And it's a sword that has been used against him before. It's a magical, it's an enchanted sword.
I've heard it. I was one of the things that brought up all my research. Yeah, I meant there too, but yeah. But like I said, when we're talking about resources, T'Challa has everything that he has to bring, where Wolverine has Krakoa and all that. If need be, Wolverine can do that. We're talking about resources. There's one little resource above all that kind of, would make vibranium like tissue paper. All
right. So now, sure, I'm talking about using Wakanda's resources. I'm not talking about using Wakanda.
People are resources. Soldiers are treated as resources like anyone else. So if we are talking about resources, you're talking about soldiers on both sides. So,
when you're talking person-on-person fight, when you talk Black Panther and Wolverine, let's be real. Who do you think would have more people backing him? Especially if we're talking in continuity right now, where everyone hates the X-Men. Do you think the Avengers would be on the X-Men side?
Well,
I
they
know
never
the
on the
Fantastic
X-Men
Four
side.
would be.
The X-Men have always
Avengers.
had the short end of the stick.
What's that?
The X-Men have always had the short end of the stick, I believe. They never.
They have, because I mean, it's just a fact of the matter is that the X-Men are looking out for themselves, and now they're embracing it, and everyone hates them for it. So, I mean, let's be real. If the X-Men start an attack on Wakanda, there's going to be a counter reaction there that I don't think the X-Men are prepared for. Because, I mean, how many realities have they gone through at this point to get to this one right now?
Yeah.
I don't think that would go very well, having the entirety of Earth's superheroes, the Avengers, including Hulk. I would like to see Wolverine deal with Hulk. That'd be fun. And I don't think that would go well for the X-Men.
Yeah. It might take a little bit for it to come up here on StreamYard, because notice it's been quite a lag. But Max says, I think he's talking more towards you, because we both brought up resources, but you brought it up first. And I think it's a bit cheating to say he's got resources, and therefore everything I can make him use now. Ah, here he goes. Now it shows up. But yeah, so I think it could apply to both of us. But saying that Black Panther's got resources and all that.
Yeah, that's fair. And that, I mean, again, that'll come up with any sort of Batman argument. It's almost a meme at this point of, well, how much time do you have to prepare? You know, because I mean, realistically, anything that they want to get their hands on to defeat this enemy, they can do it. It's available to them.
But
so I'm just putting it forward as a possibility. Like, if it came up to it, there is this thing that this hero could use to fight against them, that it wouldn't be beyond their knowledge or the reach. That if Black Panther really wanted to go toe-to-toe with Wolverine, it's something that he could use against him. Not that it's something that he is going to or would use against him, but it's a possibility.
True.
And, you know, I figured, you know, put that forth, because, I mean, me and you, we don't decide this. We just put our arguments forth and let the discussion play out. So just figured, you know, put all the possibilities out there, like Superman versus Batman. Well, what if Batman has this honking piece of kryptonite? You know, it's just a possibility. That's something to take into consideration that maybe not everyone knows about, you know. So just put it out there, like, it's a possibility.
Yeah, throw out, so throw out, how much time does it need to get a full kryptonite armor with locating it, extracting it, making armor out of it? True. That's true. So anyway, but yeah, so throw out Wakanda and its resources and all the money, all the thing that being king is to. Throw out Krakoa, Storm, and Magneto, the metal bender, and you're talking about just the two of them. Right. Ultimately, I think it's a matter of endurance. You know, T'Challa is superhuman in that regard, but Wolverine has his healing, and so he can take a beating. And like I said, his claws are in his fingers, so it's like getting a grip on him. Whereas Wolverine has that slight extension, and you can't really touch and get on that. Wolverine can heal and all that, so it's just a matter of maybe just getting past it, getting past his armor underneath. And even that, if you really can't do that, you know, he can't scratch if his arms are at his sides and Wolverine's holding on like this, you know. So I think that either, you know, subduing, defeating, killing, whatever the end goal is, that it favors Wolverine for his endurance, for his ability, you know, to do that and just to hold things down, and that ultimately he's going to win. So that is my,
you know.
So go ahead.
Yeah, you know, like I said, you know, I can see, you know, this is coming towards the end. I think, you know, you've put up a lot of really good arguments for it. And I think ending things off is, again, Black Panther, I get a lot of people just aren't aware of how skilled of a fighter he is. Again, he's not just superhuman. He's on the level equal to, if not greater than, Captain America with his super soldier serum in terms of stamina, and that he's just as good at hour 16 as he is at hour 6.
So yeah, for all intents and purposes, Max, this is kind of like you and you get in the ring. Let's go. So that's what I say. We're not really hanging out ahead. Of course, both people might go, but I do not know this for sure. But he says, he's a question directed towards you. How will Black Panther destroy Wolverine's whole skeleton or whatever, since he can regenerate from being only a skeleton, if he remembers correctly? He doesn't know if he's wrong, though, but if he's right, how is Black Panther supposed to overcome both his healing and the skeleton?
Well, I mean, we've seen that, dealt with before in that Wolverine. Oh, what was it? Oh, I can't remember what it was now, but he was literally just a skeleton in a tank, because that was all that was left of him. I can't remember exactly what it was off the top of my head. Now I'm going to be looking for that for the rest of the night.
It was, I think I remember something like along the lines of like a World War Hulk kind of thing, where Hulk was this. Yeah, Hulk is this Mephisto, Mysterio, not something with an M, but it was an older Hulk that was quite a player. Yeah.
But either way, healing factors change over time. I mean, it goes down to the point where people like Juggernaut can come back from just as long as there is a single cell left of them, they'll come back.
Okay.
So sure, Wolverine can come back from a skeleton. So if we're talking like a who could kill who first, that would be something difficult to say. But I feel like if it gets to the point where Wolverine's a skeleton, Black Panther could at the very least keep him there. But I think, going back to what we were talking about, or what I was bringing up about the nerve clusters, is there are certain tendons that Wolverine, he can't just regrow. He has to stay still at the very least for them to be able to reattach themselves to grow back. Because, I mean, Wolverine, he can't regrow limbs. He has to take the limb, put it on, and attach it back. It's the same thing with Deadpool. So when it comes down to it, all Black Panther would really have to do, if at the very least he could dismember him. I mean, he could attack those nerve clusters maybe in the joints in the arm, maybe the elbows, the shoulders, especially in the neck. And he's agile enough and he's skilled enough to be able to dance around Wolverine, avoiding those claws of his. Because again, Wolverine, sure, he's a skilled human fighter, and sure, he spent time in the danger room, but that's not really skills in terms of a art.
But Wolverine also would know that I can't have my arm cut off here, or I can't have this muscle severed like this, because if it does, it's going to take 5 hours to regrow, and that's a kind of thing. So he might know that I need to avoid this and this. So yes, Black Panther might get lucky, or skilled or whatever to hit that spot or hit it just right, but Wolverine will also know that I need to avoid this, this, and this, and protect himself in the meantime. So I think we're about at that time. We should do final concluding arguments, and then we let the chat vote. What do you think?
Sure, why not?
All right, so you may begin your closing argument.
So I would say that all in all, sure, it's not going to be an easy fight for either man. And Wolverine has a lot of things going for him. But at the end of the day, no matter how long Wolverine's been around, how much he's trained, against who he's trained in battle, Black Panther, he's got it in hand to hand. Like I said, he's skilled in every single martial art on the face of the planet, and then some that Marvel created, because of course they had to. Not only that, but Black Panther is ready for a fight. Of course, a la Batman, in that he doesn't just go into a fight blindly. He has at least a good knowledge of his opponent before ever having to face him in battle. So Black Panther would know all about Wolverine, what his strengths are, what his weaknesses. And sure, Wolverine might recognize his own weaknesses and his joints and what have you, his nerves, and say, I can't have Black Panther get to these things. But that doesn't mean Wolverine is going to be able to hold him off. So I feel like, in my personal opinion, in that Black Panther, with his extremely skilled combat, the fact that he is on the level with, if not better than, Steve Rogers with his super soldier serum, with the stamina, the super strength, I feel like Black Panther, he would, for the most part, have no problem taking apart and tearing him apart.
All right. Well, good arguments. Definitely good arguments. Well, Wolverine wins this, like I said, because Black Panther has been, yes, he might be skilled in hand-to-hand combat, but Wolverine makes this a hand-to-knife fight. Black Panther has these tiny little extensions to his fingernails. He needs to cut his fingernails, but Wolverine actually has the exterior weapon. Wolverine's been around for a century and a half, a long period of time. T'Challa, yes, he might be experienced, but he doesn't have the experience that Wolverine has in seeing things and having to fight, quite like Wolverine has. Wolverine's, like I said, skilled in a lot of things. He, I believe my research did it had him as a spy, so he can sneak into places. If Claw can sneak into Wakanda and steal Vibranium, why can't Wolverine sneak in there and do the same? Plus, he knows you don't just launch into attack; you have to study your opponent too. So he might find out that Vibranium is weak to electricity, and that all that, so he can attack it that way. With a little electrocution to slow him down. And like I said in the very beginning, this all comes down to Vibranium versus Adamantium. Vibranium has broken. It can be scratched. It can be broken. Adamantium can only be destroyed or cut by Adamantium. It is the indestructible metal. We've seen it in Wolverine's Origins. We've seen it in that Samurai one where Adamantium is clearly the metal to be. These two fighters are skilled. They can both go toe to toe. And like I said, I believe that if Black Panther cannot put Wolverine down immediately, it's going to be a long, drawn out fight that will only favor Wolverine and his healing factor. Plus, like I said, if this turns into a kill or be killed fight, T'Challa, Black Panther is going to go down and stay down, whereas Wolverine will come back for round 2 with lessons learned and fresh for a new fight. So, in short order, Wolverine wins because of his genetics and his skills, but mostly his claws. You can't beat those claws. So, that is my argument. We'll leave it up to the chat to decide. I'm going to drop the voting. So, what do you guys say? Who wins, Black Panther or Wolverine? So, I enjoyed this art debate really much. And this was a lot of fun.
For sure. I know I learned a lot about Black Panther. I liked Black Panther before, but
yeah,
I had no idea about the level Black Panther was on, especially compared to other heroes.
Yeah. Because I'm looking through it. I'm doing my research. And I'm going. There's always a weakness in something. I'm going, where's Vibranium's weakness? I'm going like, electricity, I found one. Yes.
Yeah.
So we got one vote for me so far. So thank you.
Even in the debate, MCU Vibranium is completely different because we don't really see that much pure Vibranium. Like Cap's shield isn't pure Vibranium in, I think, either the movie or the comics. It's Vibranium mixed with Adamantium. So there's a lot of differences. Mm-hmm.
I didn't hear that or know that. I remember Howard Clark saying that that's the strongest metal on Earth, and that's all we have.
Yeah.
And I know, I guess Vision might be the closest thing to pure Vibranium, because of all that. But I don't know. Like I said, it all seemed pure to me. And like I said, even because I didn't think of this at the time, but like I said, they know, Wakandans know how to make Vibranium weaker. What it is, like that train in Black Panther, make it safe to travel and all that. So yes, I agree, Matt. Comic Culture here can articulate his points very well. So definitely brought a good fight in there. So I was relying on my what I knew for Wolverine here, and the fact that I was hoping for a fan favorite to carry me over. So
yeah, I feel like with someone like Wolverine, you almost could have just sat down and just said, "Well, it's Wolverine. On to you."
Well, comic collectors more than welcome right on here. I have guests for shows, but if I do a second season or whatever, I will definitely ask you. and all that. Of course, I might even just the second round here, I might even take a step back and be more of host and let two people go at it, and so that way I can poke questions at other people. So yeah, if you're in the chat, please vote. So because right now it's 2-1. Or do you favor Black Panther or Wolverine if you had to vote?
Yeah, I'm sure it's 2-1 in my favor.
Nope. So far the only vote is Wolverine. So yeah, definitely agree, Max. And like I said, just a moderator or someone here to that way I could say, okay, time out. What about this? Hey, two brothers, welcome. Unfortunately, you missed the argument, but you have to make but we'll question you. Who would win the fight?
By all means, just send a vote down there for Black Panther. I had it in the bag. Don't even worry about the other guy. It's just
Wolverine and Adamantium and Black Panther versus Vibranium. Don't let just because he's a king doesn't mean you have to bow down to pressure.
Now hold on a minute. Don't try to make it just about Vibranium versus Adamantium. I
mean,
I'm sure you
down to that.
Wolverine
is my friend Southern. You'll vote for an X-Men, right? So, but yeah, what do you guys think? Yeah, everyone in the chat. So we only have one vote so far, and that's for Wolverine. So far, my guy's winning. So Wolverine
was so good that they just don't know who to pick now.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's it's that meme where he's standing with the column with the buttons going. Oh, looks like we got a tie. Oh, Southern gives me Wolverine. Two Brothers gives you Black Panther, so it's 2-1.
Thank you.
So far it's 2-1 Wolverine.
Southern, I'm not trying to say anything negative, but I would like you a lot more if you went ahead and just changed that. I'm sure it was a misclick. We'll forgive you this time. Go ahead and correct it.
Because Black Panther
just glitched out for a second or something, but
Yeah, because Black Panther, everyone knows Black Panther and Wolverine are spelled almost identical. It was an accidentally typo.
There's only a few different letters. It's very similar. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to give it another minute or so, and then we will call the winner. So far it's 2-1 in favor of Wolverine. The X's have it. Wait, that's what comes up forever. Never mind, it's so definitely fun. Yeah, good luck getting Comic Geek to vote against the movie. That's for sure. With his Pulse 180, 181, and 182. Speaking of
what are you trying to say? Mine's at least signed by Stan Lee.
Ooh, I got a ISM over there signed by Stan Lee too.
You have a what signed by Stan Lee?
I have a Fantastic Four 13 and a Amazing Spider-Man 43, The Origin of Black Rhino. No. One channel, one vote. Don't cheat. I demand a recount. There's voter fraud. Voter fraud is rampant all of a sudden. Okay, well, if that's how it is, then it's technically 2-2, and it's a tie. So that's 2-2 then. So. All right.
Honestly, I consider that a win. If I was able to go into a fight of Wolverine versus Black Panther and was able to at least make people tie, I think that says something.
Yeah, it says I like Black Panther more. Oh, a bonus round? What do you think? Bonus round. One argument, one thing, one argument, one fact to convince the cat.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Yeah, please hit the like button, guys. Definitely help me out. All right.
And
well, what do you think then? Bonus round. See if we can sway a couple of either side. So what do you got?
All right. So for me, you know, I had brought it up earlier about a Super Skrull and how he had fought a Super Skrull with the combined powers of Captain America, Shang-Chi, Daredevil, and Black Panther, and he still won. But not just that, Black Panther was able to face Galactus and basically told him to shut up.
Okay.
And Captain America, one time that he had beaten Black Panther, even admitted that he was only able to beat him because T'Challa seemed a little off that day.
Okay.
So when it comes to hand-to-hand combat, when it comes to skill, when it comes to even strength, because I feel like if there's one person you can compare in terms of fighting style, fighting ability from Wolverine, it's Captain America. Because Captain America, just like Wolverine, got his abilities through the army, through fighting people. And he's only honed that over time fighting superhumans. So if T'Challa is able to go toe-to-toe with someone like Cap, sure, he doesn't have the claws, but he does have that super soldier serum, which puts them on equal footing in terms of abilities. And if Black Panther is able to outmatch him, I feel like it says a lot in terms of Black Panther's ability as a combatant.
Well, you definitely brought up a good point for your bonus round. I'm gonna delve back into what I said earlier on one of the things here. Black Panther is the king of Wakanda. He has an army behind him, the resources behind him. So it would be completely stupid. So you were Black Panther with all your resources behind you, and I'm Wolverine. It'd be very dumb for me to just go and pick a fight with you unless I thought I had some sort of advantage. So you got your resources, you got your army behind you. I have mine. I have my X-Men behind me. And like I said, the Vibranium is weak against electricity. I have Storm. Vibranium's a metal. I have Wolverine to help me out. Because right now, Magneto is on the side. Everyone's on the same side of Krakoa as mutants against the world. So just those two mutants alone, every single one of my citizens on Krakoa is a super soldier. Versus just Black Panther and his vibranium and his soldier vibranium weapons, but they're not super enhanced themselves. So it would technically, ultimately, it would be smart for it to be a real all-out war with nation against nation. These two would not go single fight against each other. Ultimately, I think they would ultimately be a larger clash. And in this case, I think Krakoa beats Wakanda. So that is my bonus round. So does that sway anyone else? Does that sway anyone else?
If we're going all out war, I'm sure Black Panther has the Avengers behind him too.
No, we're talking Wakanda versus Krakoa. We're not talking about mankind versus Krakoa.
Black Panther is a member of the Avengers.
Yes, but you don't. We're talking about Wakanda versus Krakoa.
I thought we were talking about Black Panther versus Wolverine, and we were leaving out assets.
Well, like I said, that was my bonus round. That was the regular fight. That was the regular fight. This is the bonus round.
And had to bring back in the X-Men to equal things out. But that's okay. That's okay.
It was. What can I say? That was the regular round. That was the regular fight. This is the bonus round. It's down and dirty.
I'll keep that in mind for next time.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyone else? Anyone being swayed? Because technically, like I said, it's technically 2 votes to 1 in favor of Wolverine, 2 against 2 if you include both brothers, from 2 brothers. But since I don't see anyone else showing up in the chat, since I only see 1 vote for Black Panther on that, it can only count as that. I can't count it as 2 if I don't see 2 Black Panthers. So
type Black Panther in twice, please.
It's the same guy. Just going Black Panther, Black Panther. The chat then.
Spam the chat with Black Panther.
I lost power. All of a sudden, I got a bunch of black on the screen. Black Panther, Black Panther, Black Panther. But yeah, this is definitely a fun one. It was right up there with Superman versus Thor. Now that was a disappointment. I thought Superman had it. Too many Thor
Man.
fans, I guess.
I saw that too, and I was like, man, I should watch that. But then the thought popped in my head of the one thing that Superman, the reason he would lose, magic.
Well, I don't quite see how Thor is magic in a sense. I don't see.
He's not magic, but his hammer is.
Yeah,
His
but
hammer is.
well, unless his hammer picks up a magic wand and starts shooting spells at Superman, I don't see how it's going to be effective.
I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
Yeah, the little strap picks up the wand. All right. Well, I don't see anything. I don't see anyone being swayed otherwise. And like I said, technically, I don't see the other brother voting clearly, since I only see one clear Black Panther. So I'm on a technicality. I will call for Wolverine. Does that sound fair?
I want you to put that in your post, though. On a technicality.
Well, on a technicality, well, just being word for word and all that, one channel per, or one person, one channel per vote. I don't see a second Black Panther vote. So on that rule, because I can't make up one just because you say that there. I can text on the screen. Oh, we have 5 Black Panther votes over here. I am not asking my wife. She will not side with me.
Yes, ask her.
Was it good again? We're losing yet? We're losing yet?
What?
Oh, look at that! My mice got out.
Oh man, we're running out of time.
All right, yeah, but I am claiming it for Wolverine because of the rules I stated before, because I'm the thing there. But just to make you feel better, my wife likes Black Panther more, so she would have sided with you. So she would have put that. So
see, at that point, I feel like it's unfair officiating because you're neglecting to include all the votes that wouldn't count for you. So but I mean,
just because there's 350 million people in the United States, it's not my fault. There's not 350 million votes cast on election day.
Hey,
if they sit their ass home and don't show up, it's on them. She could have come in here, stuck her head in, and gone Black Panther, and would have counted, but it didn't. But thank you very much for joining me. This was a lot of fun. So you're more than welcome to come back and all that. In fact, if you wanted to argue Wolverine and all that, I could let you take over Wolverine for the next round against the next opponent, because I am going to be arguing Spider-Man when round 2 comes up here. So if you wanted to take over, you're more than welcome to argue Wolverine, since that's your other baby. But and since we already had the request from Matt that you appear on the screen more since you're so articulate. But the next, I have a note somewhere around here, but the next matchup should be John's Comics with Kids, with my next guest. We'll be arguing, I think, the JLA Justice League versus the MCU Avengers. I wanted to include that matchup in there, so.
So is it the DCEU Justice League then too?
I'm not sure. We decided the chat or whatever. So there's 6 characters, the 6 characters that he chose out of all the Justice League members. That's his team, and my MCU Avengers that appeared in all the movies, or the original movie. So that's my Avengers versus his, Justice League. So it'll be another juggling fest with more than one thing. So it'll be fun. So, but whoever wins will have to narrow it down to one guy moving forward, because we can't have 6 against 1.
That would be pretty fun, though.
Yeah. Good luck going. Okay, Wolverine, you can pick 5 other X-Men to join you. So to go up against it. So yeah, that'll be fun. So yeah, thank you very much, Comic Collector, for joining me. This was a lot of fun. We're approaching on 15 minutes now. Do you have anything coming up or anything you want to say? Promote your channel before we let you go.
I mean, for the most part, I haven't been super active on my channel. But I mean, if please do go and check out the content I do have on there. I mainly don't post just because I don't get that much of a response on what I do post. So if you see something that you do like, by all means, please let me know through comment on the video or what have you, just so I have some way of knowing what content y'all do like, so I can push it out. I have some weekly comic book hauls, collection updates, so head over there and just let me know what y'all like, so I know what I can put out further.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for joining me. I have my I'm gonna be a guest on the Boys at Seven's channel for Comicgories, I believe on Monday. So I'll be going up against somebody. I think someone, I forget who. I don't know if I have an opponent just yet, but I look forward to that. You know, I've yet to win a round. I've only won one cover, and all the times I've been on there. So I'm really hoping to make it to round 2. You know, I don't even have to win at the very end. I just want to make it to round 2. So please, if you're watching this, show up and vote for me. I did really appreciate it. You know, and yep, I have comment coming out. In about 2 or 3 weeks, I'll be doing episode 6 of the Knockout, which again, Justice League versus Avengers. So another fun thing. So show up then. And yep, that's about it. So good to have you guys here. Thank you everyone for joining, everyone who voted. I deeply appreciate it. And as always, stay safe out there and happy collecting. Until next time, see you guys later. Bye-bye.